yesterday's result was fantastic. Mouth-watering goals of entertainment right there from the UEFA Champions League. Also, we'll be taking a dive into NBA. Basketball is back. We'll be looking at that on the show this wonderful morning. I am Paul Abe-Toluwanimi. I have the expert analyst herself, the caller Fola Iyegbe, on the show. Fola, good morning. Lobi Stars and FC Abedi advanced to the Gold Cup semi-final stage, which is set for a blockbuster semi-final game. Sporting Lagos, Crown FC and Lobi Stars have now confidently secured a spot in the semi-final stage of the 13th edition of the Gold Cup. In the semi-final, Group A and Group B fixtures held simultaneously at the FC Abedi Stadium right there in Shagamu. Sunshine Stars and Ekiti United face elimination following a short stint despite their desperate need for a favorable outcome to continue the tournament. Also, you look at in Group A, Greenlock FC struck early, taking the lead in the 7th minute of that one. Aminu Abdullahi impressive half volley left the game for the boys. 2-1 victory. The game ended. Also, Sunshine Stars were in a prime run position to qualify for that one ahead of FC Abedi, but their hopes were dashed after a 4th match against Abakaliki. Sporting Lagos and FC Abedi progressed into the Group A with 9 points, but the former NNL team topped the group on head-to-head, having defeated Ulisse Boys 2-1. In Group B, Lobi Stars dominated Asamero FC with a commanding 5-1 victory, finishing second with 7 points and plus 6 goals difference. The top of the table clash with 7 points with Ekiti State United with 6 points right here. And at this point in time, this is what it's looking like. A crucial game is going to happen on Wednesday, where we're expecting a much needed finish from this team. There you have it, the Gold Cup. These are just preparations for some of the teams who are going to feature in the NNL this season. How do you see this preparation, most especially for these teams? I'm sure, it will gear them up for what is set to come when the next month, November, is upon us.
Well, with the way they've been playing and with the influx of with the way they've been playing and the influx of goals and how the boys have been, well, should I say impressive?
Impressive, yeah, I agree.
Generally, I'm talking about all clubs.
All clubs, yes.
Yeah.
You talk about Ekiti State.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is it called? Sporting Lagos. They've been impressive. I'm looking forward to actually the games to come in November, because it shows that if I'm going to go and watch that game, I'm going to see a lot of goals.
I agree.
I'm going to see a lot of forwards doing their job and defenders,
making it compact right there.
I'm sure.
That's the Gold Cup edition, the 13th edition of the Gold Cup. We're expecting the result to be out the semi-final stage game, and we'll be giving you more updates on that. Like I said, it's a preparation for this clubs and also the players towards the NNL game coming up next month. Let's take more stories from the local front. Yesterday, we spoke about Kano Pillars, having issues with the management, and at this point in time, Baba Ganilu returns as the Kano Pillars interim coach. Kano Pillars have announced the return of Mohamed Baba Ganilu as the interim technical advisor following dismissal of Coach Evans Ogenyi on Sunday. The seasoned technician who last managed Nigerian National League NNL side Aqua United will be taking charge of the Sir Musa Gida side for the 3rd time in his career. So it's not new to Kano Pillars. It's not new to them. He has managed them before. So he's coming back, to be part of them. Baba Ganilu previously guided Pillars to the Nigeria Premier Football League title during his 2nd stint with the club. The 61-year-old has also managed several top-flight sides, including Nasarawa United, Wiki Tourists, Lobi Stars, and El Kanemi Warriors. That's to show them, it's not new to the NPFL. Now he's back with the side. How do you think he can shape in Kano Pillars once again? Look at how they're struggling this season.
He has been with the club for some time. He has been with the club before. He knows how the management is. He knows what is up with the club.
I agree.
So if he goes to the club now, I don't think it should be too hard for him to, acclimatize with what is going to happen there. And with the players, I think he should be able to manage them. And the management, he should be able to say, okay, you are having your issues, but I want to. He should be able to handle them.
Handle them.
Because he has been there before. He knows what has happened. He knows what can happen. He knows how they do their things. So he should be able to get there and, you know, quickly get used to what's happening
and reshape the system again for
exactly, exactly.
Right.
So I don't think it should be too hard for him to handle Kano Pillars at this point. Will he be able to get the results? Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. That's the update from the camp of Kano Pillars, and we hope that Mohamed Babaganiru, you know, can reshape Kano Pillars once again. Let's move away from that. Let's talk about the game tonight. FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Morocco, Flamingos battle ready for France. After a painful 4-1 defeat to Canada in their opening group D fixtures, Nigeria Under-17 girls find themselves fighting for survival against a confident French side that kicked off their campaign with a strong 4-2 win over Samoa. The fixture is more than just a group match, and there's history, something at stake for the Flamingos. The last time Nigeria met France at this tournament was 13 years ago in Azerbaijan, where both sides played out a tense goalless draw and regulation time before France edged out on 5-3 on penalties. The memory lingers for many. This feels like unfinished business. France will play with speed, fluidity, and also dominant structure after their 4-2 win over Samoa. And also, coach Bankole Lowokere's team would have to correct some transition, stay compact, and rediscover their mental steel. It's no longer about tactics alone, but also about character. This game is going to show up at 8 p.m. right there in Rabat, and we are hoping for the very best for the Flamingos. For you, Fola, let's take a dive back into the game against Canada, where we watched the highlight yesterday. You know, not so impressive with the girls, but it's about time that they need to come back again to say, we need to get a victory against France, and how do we go about it? If you have to speak with Coach Bankole Lowokere now, what would you be telling him to do with the girls ahead of this game against France?
Okay, I would tell him, you know, you made a statement when you were saying earlier that character. Our girls need character. They have the skills. We know they have the skills. We've seen them play with other, apart from the Canadian team that, you know, messed them up. We've seen them play with other teams, and they've impressed us. You understand? They have the skills, they have the technique, but they need character. So, not that when a striker is coming or a forward is coming with the ball, the goalkeeper would leave her post and then, you know, trying to, you saw that now. When I saw that, I just couldn't help myself but laugh, you know, because that showed that what are you going to go and get the ball for? Stay on your post, let us see what you can do there. So they would need character. So you should tell our girls that we can play this game, we can handle these girls, but have discipline.
Great.
You need discipline.
For you, for France, you know, going into this one, you saw their first game against Samoa, 4-2. That shows that they can also concede goals, but they can score goals too. You know, for France also, what do you think the approach will be going into this game against the Flamingos?
They too, I would also tell them that they need character too, because we cannot say our girls only, because they conceded 2 goals against a team like Samoa. I'm not belittling Samoa, but we know that Samoa generally, even when they play, is not a footballing nation. You understand? So for them to have considered 2 goals against Samoa, they too need character. So I would tell them that as you're coming to play against a team like Nigeria, don't think because we lost to Canada, they lost to Canada, that they will not be able to handle themselves when they are facing you. So you two, our defensive line need to know what they're doing.
I agree.
So because these girls can score goals, so you two, you need your discipline when you're playing against them.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you a few questions going into this one, because it's a big game for the Flamingos, a must-win game. And because if we don't pick up the result now, I think it's safe that we come back home to say, you know, let's just end this tournament at this point in time. So quick one,
good adventure for you.
Defensively, how do they stay compact going into this game against France, and also attack-minded wise?
How do they stay compact? Well, I would say our defensive line needs, they need to know how to communicate. Communication is necessary. They need to communicate with themselves. They need to know that, okay, this is the time for us to come out. This is not the time for us to stay in. This is the time for us to stay in, and this is not the time for us to come out. They need to understand that, okay, when I'm passing the ball, the other person I'm passing the ball to, I've communicated with the person, and the person knows what I'm going to do. They need to, communication is key. Because if you watch the game against Canada, you see that there was no communication, that there was lack of communication. That was why they were able to concede so many goals.
I agree.
They need communication and they need order. They have to be orderly.
All right. We'll go on a short break, and when we're back, we're still talking about the Flamingos ahead of this one against France, because it's a must-win game. We'll be analyzing that. Also, we have stories from the camp of the Super Eagles. Jennifer Echegini would not be playing the qualifiers for Benin Republic. All this and more on the show right here on Dominion Sport. This is Dominion Television. We'll be right back.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Casts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Beasts.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB Van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB Van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram at Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Right, you're welcome back to Dominion Television, your channel of choice, and this is Dominion Sport. The captain is back on the show, Samson Balogun. But before he speaks, we're discussing about the big game tonight against France by 8 p.m. and Fola, has been dissecting and also giving us a top-notch analysis ahead of that game, coming up in Rabat, and the technical ability of what Coach Bankole Olowokere needs to look out for. Also, we had to speak about the side France also when they had their first fixtures against Samoa, ending that game 4-2. We went back also to speak about the last time Nigeria and France played out that one in Azerbaijan. The game ended goalless, but they edged that one on penalty shootout 5-2. I'm just going to ask you something quickly. You look at this game for the Flamingos, a must-win game. What is the approach they need to set across for this one against France?
Well, I think it is quite easy. First of all, let me say good morning to our esteemed viewers out there. Well, going back to what you asked, it's going to be a cracker between these two teams. France are no small team when it comes to age grade football, especially female football, and they rank among the top 10. Let me just make it as wide as possible. They rank among the top 10 in the world, and most definitely, if you look at what they've done so far in this tournament. They defeated Samoa 4-2. But one thing was crystal clear in that game. They conceded 2 goals against the team that is considered to be the weakest in the group. So that gives the Flamingos a kind of
an opening
into that game, and the coach really needs to look at this. We spoke about his tampering with his approach, going into the World Cup thinking he wants to play flamboyant football, create more chances, and then score more goals. Yes, they were able to create about 17 chances in their first game. Unfortunately, they were only able to score how many?
Just one.
Just one. So that tells you that they were creating chances and not converting them. Now, the goal is to create as many chances as possible. But the clause is do not leave your back line, do not expose your back line. And that's what they do too many times in their first game of the group. So they exposed the back line too much that the goalkeeper had to pay the price. So I think he should be more compact in defense going into this game. And that still does not mean they are not going to create chances, but they should bury as many chances as possible. In a game where you have not conceded, you still have a chance of winning. Yeah. But the moment you concede, what comes to your mind is to go back to level terms, and then if you can get a goal, fine. If you cannot, that means that's all you can take. But as long as you are, you have conceded a goal, you are not in a winning position. In fact, you are not in that position where you can say, I can win this game. What you can think about at that time is to equalize and maybe get a draw. So they should try as much as possible to be compact in defense, creative in midfield, and be ruthless in attack. So once all that is done, I think France should be a team they can defeat. I want to put it that way because they were not special against Samoa. They were able to use experience and maybe the quality of players in that team to overpower Samoa. But if Samoa could get 2 goals against them, if the Flamingos are ruthless in attack, they should be able to get more than 2 goals. Yeah.
All right, that's ahead of that one against France. What's your prediction for the Flamingos by 8 p.m.? That's when the kickoff time would start, and we hope for the very best for the Flamingos to be able to pick up all 3 points. If not, I think it's safe that they're back home by the 3rd game. I think after Samoa, we should be back home.
Well, Samoa will just be a testimonial. It will be a testimonial match.
I agree.
The worst result they should be looking out for against France is a draw. That puts them in a position where if they score as many goals as possible against Samoa, they stand a chance of qualifying to the next phase, depending on if the other team in the group gets to win all the 3 games.
That's France. So, that's Canada. Yes.
If Canada wins all 3 games, 9 points. That puts France at a disadvantage. So it's going to be a little bit easier for them to cross to the next phase.
All right, let's see how that one pans out for the Flamingos and also Coach Bankole Oluwokere's side. Let's move away from that. Let's talk about the Super Falcons ahead of the clash against Benin Republic. We're going to watch a video of the training of the Super Falcons ahead of this clash. I'll be back to discuss the qualifiers for this one for Benin Republic.
Let's go up, down, up, down. Oh, let's keep bouncing, up, down, let's keep bouncing. That's right. And we finish the turn, we just jog down, east, jog down, no work, we just take it in.
All right, that's the training section for the Super Falcons ahead of the clash against Benin Republic. Samson Balogun, the girls are looking ready. You know, before as we're watching the video, you're talking about a certain player that you're not saying and you're not excited about that. That's Rashidat Ajibade. Also, let me inform the viewers now that Echegini has been ruled out of the Super Falcons clash against the Benin Republic. Jennifer Echegini has been ruled out of this clash ahead of the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations qualifiers fixtures against the Benin Republic. Echegini sustained an hamstring injury in Paris Saint-Germain, one win at Strasbourg on Sunday. The midfielder will now miss the Friday's first leg at the final qualifying game at the Stade d'Hier in Lomé, and also the return leg in MK Abiola Stadium next week at Tuesday. The former Juventus star scored Nigeria's winning goal in this year's Women AFCON final match against host nation Morocco in Rabat. At this point in time, we have 13 players currently in the Super Eagles Falcon camp. Captain Rashidat Ajibade, who plays for PSG in France, is scheduled to arrive in Lomé on Tuesday. Most likely should be in camp at this point in time. But there you have it. Most of the players are in camp already. We're expecting Mitchell Aliose. We have Deborah Biodo also in camp. Esther Okoronkwo also a player that we're expecting to join the girls ahead of this one coming through against the Benin Republic. Samson Balogun, what are your expectations for the girls ahead of this one against Benin Republic?
Well, I think the Morais are in camp, just that some of the players are not yet in the team, but the camp is almost full. As you said earlier, Rashidat Ajibade is expected to join the camp today or later today, depending on the flight schedule. But most definitely will be missing the presence of Jennifer Echegini, a fantastic midfielder, a regular starter in the team, was instrumental at the WAFCON, and that's one player they are definitely going to miss. But I want to believe the likes of Demai Tosi and Rashidat Ajibade can actually they can actually come in and make the difference. And when you talk about football, I think. The female national team has been blessed. If you look at how dominant they have been on the African scene, I mean, no team around the world has dominated their continent the way Nigeria has dominated the African continent, winning the larger share of the trophies available. Yeah. I mean, about 90% of that, if not more. So it's a blessing. But one thing is certain: if you look at the determination on the faces of these players, it's so different to what you would have in any other team. The girls are, raring to go. Each time they are called upon, they are always there, and you see them giving their all. So there's never been unless a player has a dip in form, which also reflects on the club form. Take for example, if Asisat Oshoala is not doing too well for the Super Falcons, if you check her club form, you will see that it is almost the same, meaning that at that time she is off. But how do you explain a player invited for the Super Eagles who, for example, plays well for Fulham and then plays for the Super Eagles and then boom, things change. So I think there's a distinct difference, and that's a good thing about the female team. They are always consistent with the way they do things, and the quality of players they are paraded over time. If one player leaves, let's go back to the era of Messi, Akide, and the likes. When Perpetua Nkocha and some other players like that. So when they are leaving the team, there are other stars warming up to be a part of that team. And that's exactly what is going on with this particular team right now. These Asisat Oshoalas of this world, they are about to be, phased out of the team. Because, when you look at age and then the quality of performance right now, at the WAFCON, she sat down sat on the bench for most of the games. So it tells you that, the faces are changing. And as Rashidat Ajibade also, age is no longer on her side. But if you look at the likes of Jennifer Echegini already coming into the team, they are already the replacement for these players who are outgoing. And that's a good thing. They are growing into the team. And one thing they have also done successfully that we don't do with the other teams is the fact that they graduate. These players move from under 17 to under 20, from under 20 to under 23, and then after that they move to the main team. So there has been a consistent promotion and growth for some of these players, and we understand that 23 players cannot all make it to the team at the same time, meaning that maybe 6, 7, 8 of them will graduate and then move to the next phase. Some of them might even jump their phase and move to the next one, depending on the current situation. And we have always had that with the Super Falcons. I do that is also practiced, because if you look at the progression. Another thing we have been missing is the coaches. You know, you just bring a coach to come and coach the Super Falcons. A coach that has never been to the under-17, been to the under-20, been to the under-23, and then the national team per se. So if you, let's talk about De La Fuente, the coach of the Spanish national team.
Yeah.
He has been at the under-17, under-20, under-23, and now the national team. So when they got to the national team, majority of the players that are in the national team now were his players at the under-17 level. The likes of Pedris of this world played under him at the under-17 level. So he knows them. He molded them. He made them. So when it comes to giving them what to do on the field, they respect him and they want to play for him because they know where he's coming from. But a coach just comes out of the blue boom and then he's already handling the national team. You begin to wonder what's the logic behind you hiring this coaches? But you know, the team is getting ready. Going back to what we are seeing. And I think against Benin Republic, they really have to be cautious because you know, the weather is tense right now. Nigeria scored 4 goals. The Super Eagles scored 4 goals against Benin Republic. This is most likely going to be what they see as payback time because they are so close to qualifying for the World Cup, and this is a live qualifying phase.
It looks like a way to.
If you cannot win this one, then it's a big challenge. But I trust the Super Falcons. They don't disappoint. They always deliver when given the opportunity, especially when the situation is you know, not so favorable. But then this time around, it's a two-legged encounter. Play in Nigeria, play in Lome. And if they can win in Nigeria, they can seal that in Lome. That's it.
All right, the first fixtures are coming up the 24th of October, right there for the Super Falcons, and also they come to the MK Abiola Stadium on the 28th of October for the return leg. We hope for the very best for the Super Falcons ahead of this one. Let's take a story from the local front before we look at the result in the UEFA Champions League. Gateway United changed names ahead of the 2025-2026 Nigerian National League NNL season. Gateway United Football Club has officially rebranded the Gateway Football Club. The management of the Abeokuta-based team confirmed that the name change is a part of a broader restructuring aimed at giving the club a modern identity and aligning with international football standards. A Gateway Football Club will kick off their NNL season with home fixtures against Inter Lagos at the MK Abiola Stadium, Sport Arena right there in Kuto, Abeokuta right there on Saturday, November 15, 2025. Ogun State onside will be opened that the rebranding ushers in a new era of success as the target promotion to the Nigeria Premier Football League. There you have it, something by the go, a new change of name. But would that also change, would that give a new change of structure when it comes to the field of play and also the management?
You see, it makes no difference. It's you know, it's still abracadabra, abracadabra. It's still abracadabra. So it's
still magic.
It's still magic. So it doesn't you know, make a difference. Get to Manchester United, Manchester FC. It is still Manchester. And you know, United of Manchester too is also a team in Manchester. Yeah, so there are several teams in Manchester with the name Manchester, depending on how you want to coin it.
But something, maybe before Manchester, there was a name before Manchester. Right. So maybe that gave them a new branding. So maybe this will give them a new stepping stool to the NPFL. Why not cut them some slack?
Well, Manchester United, Manchester City. They're still in Manchester. You see, the idea behind branding is beyond the name.
I agree.
If you want a brand, there are so many things you could do, even with the existing name, so it doesn't make a difference. But I understand where they are coming from. They want to give the club a totally different setup, something new to what you know, people have always been saying. It's not really a bad idea. But sometimes you just feel some things are not really necessary. And you know, if you see the logo now, you understand the fact that this is still not branding. I mean, it still does not make a difference. But whoever is behind this, you see, someone would just come and then advise the governor on one or two things to do just because they want to make a few pennies. And you know, it's really disappointing. If you check the old logo and this particular one, which one is better? So someone just wanted to, you know, find a way to
maybe
talk to the governor,
and say,
let's see how. But then Gateway Football Club, Gateway United, was it not a football club before? It was a football club. So it doesn't. Okay, Gateway United Football Club. What's the difference?
So it's Gateway Football Club. Before it was Gateway United.
It was Gateway United. It has been Gateway United before now.
But it's now Gateway Football Club.
So before now, was it not Gateway United Football Club? So, was it not a football club?
So was it Gateway Tennis Club? I think
that's what I'm saying. Was it tennis club in the first place? So this is still not branding. I don't understand where people get their ideology of PR from. But you see, it's sometimes when you don't know too much, and you find yourself in a strategic situation to make decisions. Yeah. All that you have to do is to consult. I mean, look at the logo. This is not different from, a team that plays at Felele United.
Honestly, I agree.
It's too casual.
It's casual, I agree.
Not. I mean, this is not. I can say if His Excellency Dapo Abiodun is here, I would say to him point blank
His Excellency,
that you have wasted money on this particular one. Yes, you want to.
How much will the graphic designer collect for this?
That is, you see, some people they expand the scope of things just because they want to turn it to a project, and the moment it becomes a project, you make so much money from it. So this particular logo you are saying, you read it yourself, part of broader. So the word broader restructuring,
giving the project
as swayed the views of the excellency Dapo Abiodun in Ogun State. And I really wish the governor knows better than this. Because if he still doesn't, he will still make money. The only thing they have added is Omo Ogun and removed United and put Football Club.
How familiar are you with this logo? Are you part of the system? So I no, okay. We're just going to move on because I don't want to, allow Samson Balogun to dive into, Nigeria sport again this morning. Because once we give him the chance, trust me, we're going to be here and he's going to talk about this logo from now to eternity. But trust me, I think we can do better.
Even the football has stored on the head.
Okay. All right. I appreciate my producer for taking us away from there. Let's look at the results. For the Champions League yesterday. Mouth-watering goals. Trust me, fantastic one in the UEFA Champions League. Let's take a look at the results for yesterday's game in the UEFA Champions League. There you have it. FC Barcelona picking up a victory against Olympiacos. Is not easy for the owner of Nottingham Forest and also Olympiacos at this point in time. Major struggle. 6-1. Marcus Rashford, Fermin Lopez, Lamine Yamal getting on the score sheet right there for FC Barcelona.
You shouldn't have mentioned the owner of Olympiacos as we speak. Okay. In the space of 1 week, the man almost had an heart attack. Now, what am I trying to say is that, they lost to Chelsea. Yeah. The coach was fired, and Postecoglou. Yeah. He traveled back to Portugal to watch Rio Ave, one of his teams. Yeah. They were knocked out by a 5th or 4th tier team out of the, this Portuguese Cup. I want to remember the name, Copa de Portugal or something. Okay. And then he traveled to Greece. To Barcelona to watch Olympiacos play against Barcelona. Unfortunately, they lost 6-1. You should have seen his face while sitting down there. Everything came crumbling in the space of 1 week. That's really disappointing.
Honestly, I agree with that. For Kariat and Pavos, the game ended goalless for that one. Pavos picking up a red card. Also, remember, Olympiacos also picked up a red card. Arsenal picking up a victory against Atletico Madrid. Arsenal on a good form this season. Atletico Madrid not looking to go to the UEFA Champions League. Copenhagen against Borussia Dortmund away from home. Borussia Dortmund picking up a victory 4-2. Paris Saint-Germain, the defending champion, against Bayern Leverkusen 7-2. Wow. And also Newcastle against Benfica, not too good for Jose Mourinho. For your all smiles. Jose Mourinho is not having it easy in England. Remember, he lost that one against Chelsea, now losing again to England. Not too good for Benfica. PSV Eindhoven against Napoli. Anthony Conte not having it easy for a side Napoli. Union Saint-Gilloise against Inter Milan. 4-0 away from home for Inter Milan. And also Villarreal against Manchester City. Erling Braut Haaland also getting a goal in that game. Let's look at the fixtures thick and fast as we wrap up the show today. There you have it. Athletic Club against Karabakh. We have Galatasaray against Bodo Glimt. We have Atalanta against Slavia Prague. We have Bayern Munich against Club Brugge. Chelsea against Ajax. Frankfurt against Liverpool. Monaco against Tottenham. Real Madrid against Juventus, the Olders of Turin. And we have Sporting CP against Olympique Marseille. For you, Fala, what's your pick for this game and what game are you looking forward to quickly?
Real Madrid against Juventus.
Okay.
Because it's going to be, I feel it's going to be epic. I feel I'm going to enjoy myself watching it because it's going to be very, very
entertaining.
Yes. Yes, that's my pick.
All right. Looking at that, Ugo Tudor is on the brink of getting sacked if he doesn't pick up a victory against Madrid. It's been a struggle for him when it comes in Serie A. For you, Samson Balogun, how do you look at Madrid against Juventus coming into this one?
Well, over the weekend, Tudor lost to Como, Cesc Fabregas' team, two goals to nothing.
Honestly, I wanted us to speak about Como.
One of the biggest teams in Serie A.
Cesc Fabregas has been something fantastic.
Fantastic one. I saw a clip of him, talking to the players after the victory against Juventus. He was pouring his heart out. He really had so much to say to the players, and I mean, you cannot talk to your players like that and they are not motivated to win the next game.
Yeah.
So I think he got that for it. His style of play is a blend of Arsene Wenger and that of Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho, this tough love kind of a thing, he knows how to do it. Arsene Wenger knows how to nurture super talents, young talent. So it's a blend of Jose Mourinho and Arsene Wenger. So fantastic one to Cesc Fabregas at Como. Now going back to Juventus, I mean it's been one big struggle for Tudor at Juventus. And one thing about these teams, especially when you are a coach, or you have been appointed as a coach of one of the big teams in the world, there's nothing like a project unless the team is totally in disarray. And as it stands, I think Juventus with a quality coach can actually revive the season and then get something better done.
Okay.
We have seen so many coaches come and go in recent time. Antonio Conte, Maximiliano Allegri, Tudor, and so they have always come in and out of that team. And some of them made an impact, like Antonio Conte won the league. Allegri also did something fantastic with the team. But as it stands, the old ladies are, becoming the kids on the block. I mean, it's not really looking good for them, especially in Syria where they used to have the bragging rights.
So if Gateway United could change their name, maybe Juventus could change the old ladies away from that.
To the young ladies.
The young ladies.
But I don't see them coming out unscathed against Real Madrid. I see them losing to Real Madrid. If you look at the consistency with which Real Madrid do things this season, they have not scored too many goals. But there is always one name on the lips of everyone, especially when goals are scored at the Santiago Bernabeu on a stadium. That's Kylian Mbappe. So he's been fantastic for the team. And recently he was out there saying, the first player to score so number of goals since Cristiano Ronaldo. It wasn't close. It was about 7 goals short, but at least his name was there, meaning it was second to any other person. So I still think the brilliance of Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Federico Valverde, and some other players, they would, make a difference in this game. So if you juxtapose the quality of difference from Real Madrid to Juventus, I mean, the gap is wide. I mean, how many players can you mention at Juventus right now that can walk into that Real Madrid team and be a starter? That's the question. So that's where the gap lies, and I still feel like Real Madrid will carry the day.
I could pick two from Juventus, Kenny Yildiz and Federico Conceição.
That's because some players at Real Madrid are injured. So if an Arnold comes in and Dani Carvajal comes back, so are you saying Yildiz will bench? So see, it's well, let's just leave it at
that. Okay. Your prediction for Chelsea Ajax quickly. What's your prediction for that?
Chelsea Ajax, maybe 3-1.
For you, Fola, what's your prediction for that?
I'm thinking maybe Ajax will actually try to do something. So maybe two goals
for Ajax. All right. Quickly, Liverpool, are they getting defeated away from home yet again?
Yes.
So quickly, I will
wrap up with that. It's going to be a tough one.
They're not a walk-away team. Trust me, Frankfurt are not a walk-away team.
That's where I think it's going to end in a draw.
A draw for you.
Yeah, it's called draw.
All right.
They are not at their best right now.
Okay. And let's say that one pounds out. And trust me, if Liverpool end up losing that one against Frankfurt, I'm sure we'll be getting some reports of Arne Slot maybe about being suspended.
Tottenham will be winning away to Monaco.
All right, no pressure of that. And let's look at the result in the basketball. Yesterday, the NBA is back. Fantastic one. The NBA is back, and we'll be talking about the NBA, back to back on the show. What a time to be alive. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got the ring. Remember, the OKC Thunders picked up the NBA title last season. There you have it. The boys are back. Fantastic one. Houston Rockets. Let's have the result for yesterday's game. Houston Rockets against the OKC. Look at the tie. 119 to 109. Golden State against the Lakers. What a way to kick off, the NBA. Jimmy Butler having 31 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Samson Balogun, a quick one for the basketball. Come on. What are you expecting this season?
The big men are back.
They're back,
the big men are back, and there's one thing that excites you about basketball, especially when you mention the names of these teams.
Yeah.
It is always exciting to watch them play and most definitely, talk about them. So I think it's a good time to talk basketball right now. So let's just wait and see what the season looks like for all these teams in the NBA.
All right. That's all we can take on the show this wonderful morning. A big thank you to everyone that joined us. Samson Balogun, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Father Yegbe, it's always good to have you on the show, and we look forward to your predictions ahead of the UEFA Champions League. So make sure you drop your predictions right there in the comment section, and you stand a chance to win something on the show tomorrow. We're going to see again tomorrow, talking more sport right here on Dominion Television. I am Paul Abe Toluwanimi. Have a wonderful day. Stay blessed.